So, you've probably seen it on Instagram, TikTok, or maybe even at your local cafe. Mushroom coffee. It's marketed as this miracle beverage, better focus, stronger immunity, fewer caffeine jitters, a healthier alternative to your regular morning brew. But is it really all that? Or is mushroom coffee just another wellness fad with really good branding? Let's break it down. First things first, what are we even talking about here? Mushroom coffee isn't just some weird soup with chunks of shiitake floating on your mug. It's usually a mix of ground coffee beans and extracts from what are called medicinal mushrooms. And we're not talking about mushrooms you'd throw on pizza. These are species like lion's mane, linked to brain health and focus. Chaga, prized for its antioxidants. Reishi, often called the mushroom of immortality for immune effects, and cordyceps, known as the energy booster. The mushrooms are dried, powdered and processed into extracts, basically concentrated versions of their bioactive compounds. Then that powder gets blended with your coffee. So yes, it does still contain caffeine, just usually less than your typical cup. Which is why some people say that it helps cut down on jitters or sleep issues from too much caffeine. Remember, the hype around mushroom coffee generally boils down to three main promises. Number one is better focus and brain function thanks to lion's mane. And then is a stronger immune system, which is linked to chaga and reishi. And more energy and stress resilience, which is supposedly from cordyceps. Sounds like a super drink, right? Well, let's look at what the science actually says. Claim 1, which is boosting brain function and protection. Lion's mane is probably the star player here. It contains compound that seems to boost something called the nerve growth factor. That's a protein your body uses to grow and maintain healthy nerve cells. Why does this matter? Because nerve growth factor is critical for memory, learning, and overall brain health. Animal studies have shown that lion's mane extract can actually improve memory and even repair some nerve damage. So does this mean mushroom coffee is basically brain fuel? Well, hold on. These studies are small, often not replicated, and usually use concentrated extracts and not coffee blends you grab at the store. So the effects might not be dramatic or even noticeable for the average drinker. Claim 2, immunity and inflammation. Now, on to reishi and chaga. Both are packed with compounds called beta-glucans. Now, these sugars can interact with immune cells, essentially training your immune system to be more responsive. Chaga also happens to be loaded with antioxidants, which fights oxidative stress, the damage caused by free radicals that's been linked to everything from heart disease to aging. And claim 3, the energy and stress factor. Finally, cordyceps, the performance mushroom. Cordyceps contain a compound called cordycepin, which helps your cell produce ATP. That's the molecule that fuels your muscles. So in theory, more ATP means better endurance and less fatigue. All right, let's now bust a few myths that are floating around about mushroom coffee. Mushroom coffee is caffeine-free. Well, that's not true. Most blends have less caffeine, but not zero. If you are sensitive, check the label. Myth 2, it replaces medicine. Also false. While mushrooms have bioactive compounds, there are no clinical evidence that mushroom coffee can treat depression, anxiety, or chronic illness. It's a complement and not a cure. Myth 3, all mushroom coffee is created equal. Well, definitely not. Extraction method matters. Some products are dual extraction with both water and alcohol, which capture a broader spectrum of compounds. Others don't. So quality varies a lot from one drink to another. Let's talk risks now. For most people, mushroom coffee is safe, but some people have reported digestive issues and allergic reactions. And because mushrooms like reishi can interact with medication, blood thinners, immune suppressants, diabetes drugs, it's important to check with a healthcare provider first. Also, more isn't always better. There have been rare cases of liver toxicity linked to very high doses of reishi, so moderation matters. So the question, should you try it? Here's the bottom line. Mushroom coffee does have some interesting science behind it. Compounds like lion's mane, reishi, chaga and cordyceps show promise for brain health, immunity and energy. But most of that evidence comes from lab studies, animal experimentation or concentrated supplements. We don't yet know if small amounts in coffee are enough to deliver same benefits. But if you like the taste, you want a lower caffeine alternative, or you're just curious, it's worth trying. But don't expect it to replace your medication, cure your stress, or give you superpowers. So mushroom coffee, a miracle drink or wellness trend with good PR? Probably somewhere in the middle, a potentially healthy alternative that still needs a lot more science to back up the boldest claims. Until then, if you enjoy your regular cup of joe, mushroom coffee might just be a fun addition and not a revolution.